This is Spinorex again, making another video. This video is different from the other ones. I'm gonna talk about something that I think would be interesting for the creators of Warframe to add to the game. This is not part of my Warframe series. This is this idea video. Sorry if the camera angle is messed up. I'm using a phone stand. So, you're not going to be able to see all the screen because my TV's too big. So, I'm just gonna open some relics while I am doing this. Trying to get Forma. God, Forma's a pain. I've run this relic like 5 times. Didn't get a single Forma, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is I'm going to discuss an idea that I think would be very interesting for the game to for a D to add, and that is what do you call it? Relic, sort of relic, like open relic packs. Now you may think, oh wait, no, what I'm talking about, but it's not. I just can't really think of a name for it. And that is, they should add a mode in the game where when you're doing other stuff that is not cracking relics, like for instance, you could put 10 relics in, and if you're in a syndicate, then the syndicate will run 10 Fisher missions, and they will open the relics, 10 relics for you, or even 5 relics for you at a time, but not to make it super OP. There could be a cooldown of like hour long cooldown. And ignore stuff in the background, as it's my sister's kid. And I think it would be very interesting because in one of the favorite games I like playing on my phone is a Terry Gear Fusion, and they have something similar to that. They also have in Raid Shadow Legends, where you can do AI battles where your champions or characters or whatever, your team of characters will do matches for you. We'll do a certain matches, like 5 matches, and then you get the rewards on them, so you don't have to control them. Because I know doing these relics are kind of a pain sometimes, especially because like I'm mostly a solo person in this game, so I don't do relics with people, mostly because post migration and all that, or people kill the enemies too quick to get enough reactants, so I just do it solo. And I think it'll be really interesting if they added this sort of mechanic, like in those other 2 games I just mentioned, where you could put 5 relics in, and then like the syndicates that you're with, they could do those missions over an hour-long period. They'll do the missions for you and open those 5 relics at a time while you're doing something else, like farming resources and stuff. So you're not just, sitting there for like an hour-long mission, cracking relics, and being bored, just doing the same mission. Because I don't like doing this exterminate missions and stuff. I don't like them, because then I have to do the mission, then go for a whole loading screen, and I have to restart the mission and go for a whole loading screen. It's just annoying. So I think it'll be really interesting if DE added out this new mechanic, like in those other 2 games. And like in Terry Gear Fusion, you can do dungeon battles. Same thing with Raid Shadow Legends, where you can either do like a boss, or you can run dungeon runs, where your team of characters will just do the mission a certain amount of times. And for a Terry Gear Fusion, it depends how much energy you have. I think the max you can do is 30 times. But the thing is, you have a lower chance of getting more loot or better quality loot if you do it. If you do it this way with the AI. But I honestly, when I used to play, I used to do that all the time because I would just get bored doing the same mission over and over. And that's how I kind of feel in Warframe. It's just kind of annoying. And I think would be real interesting because then you could put 5 relics in, like I said, and just open them while you're doing something more important. Like, for instance, if you're doing a Kuva lich that you want to kill, but you also want to farm up, you need more Forma and stuff like that. Or you're leveling up a Kuva weapon and you need Forma. You know what I mean? And I think it would just be a really interesting mechanic to add. And it would just make the farm for the game a little bit easier. And maybe the same thing with weapons or warframes or something like that. Like, for instance, getting the Mitre, you'll have to run that mission like 20 times. Or Equinox. Farming Equinox is a real pain for multiple people because you have to run the mission like, I think like 60 times. Just for you to have a good chance of getting Equinox. And I feel like if they added the dungeon run mechanic, I'm just gonna call it that, then it would just make the farm easier. And because like it's not exactly OP because there will be a cooldown, and those that are games are mobile games, so you can just do something else while they do it, or they can even do it while, so like in those mobile games you can do them. You can put there's a setting in your phone that you can put on background, and your characters will just do that thing, the dungeon run, while you're not even in the game. They'll just do it for you. Or, for instance, if they think that 5 relics is too much, then 3 relics or 2 relics. Like, when you're not playing on the game, you can just open relics while you're playing something else. And still get a benefit from it. Or even, like, let's say you get a resource booster from logging in, but then you have to go on, like, a vacation. You can't bring your Xbox with you. That's just a waste of a credit booster. So, if they added the dungeon run mechanic, then you could set your squad of syndicate characters to do a specific mission with one of your warframes, like Necros or something like that, and just farm up resources while you're out. Then there is something like that in the game, sort of, called drills or striker drills, but they suck. They really suck. You get like 100 Fahrenheit, and it takes like 12 hours for them to be done drilling. It just sucks. Not that you have to pay like 250,000 credits to get the blueprint, and spend like 100,000 credits just to make one of them. It just sucks. It just sucks. So it will be more interesting if this mechanic was put into the game. It makes the grind more fun, because then you can do some, like, let's say, also if you want to hang out with your friends but they don't want to farm, but you really need to farm because you're trying to get a certain frame or something like that, and you want to farm parts but they don't want to do it, but you really want to hang out with them. So with the dungeon run mechanic, you can do both. You know what I mean? You can do a intermission, like a sortie, while your syndicates can open relics for you. You know what I mean? And it's not exactly OP, because you're still playing the game. You're just playing 2 types of missions at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's that the syndicates will be way more useful. Even for later game players as well. Because, you know, it's just always a pain, you know. You have to do a certain mission to farm resources or open relics for an hour long, and it gets really tedious and really boring. And you just don't want to do it anymore if you do it for a long enough. So, you know, this mechanic just solves the boredom and pain and makes it better. And I think making it so formas and relics is also kind of dumb, because you need Forma for a lot of stuff. Especially if you're going to use galvanized mods, you need it. And the drop chance in the relics for you to get Forma from the relic is just awful. It really is. I've run this specific relic, the Meso D7, about 20 times today, and I've not gotten a single Forma. I've not gotten a single Forma. I've took breaks as well, but yeah, not a single bloody Forma. Got everything else, but not a single Forma. And it's just, I've even done the Lua puzzle one, and that's also pretty shitty. Mind my language, but, you know, it's just awful. Garbage. Absolutely garbage. Even though I run into the room every single bloody time I go to Lua. I don't get a Forma. I've never gotten a Forma from one of those. Ever. I've never gotten one. At all. And I think, yeah. I think this Forma should have a higher chance of being in a relic, a non-radiant relic. You should have like a 50% chance of getting a relic at least than a prime part. Because you need Forma to be better at the game, and you need a lot of it. Especially if you're going to use galvanized mods and level up lich weapons and tenant weapons. You need Forma. It costs 5 Forma to get this to level 40. 5. Mind that. I made a group post. I was gonna invite these 2 people. There. Okay, back to the thing, yeah. So, I just think it would just be more interesting in gameplay and everything like that. Because one of the reasons I like playing those other 2 games is because I can farm up good gear, and I can also have fun at the same time. You know what I mean? Maybe except for Raid Shadow Legends, because I guess a cooldown on it, you can only do it 30 times, and then you have to wait 24 hours. But in Artillery Fusion, you can do it as many times as you want, once you have energy, but the energy cost is kind of interesting. But that's it for my video for right now. So, yeah. See ya.